how to build a rapport with your people, with your with your students, with your mentees, and who else not. So I really want to take the pleasure to introduce like who has organized क्या है और ये क्यों बनाया गया, मैं आपको छोटी सी एक स्मॉल इंट्रोडक्शन में देना चाहता हूँ। टेल यू व्हाट, ये एक रीजन से बना है, आप लोगों के सभी के मन में ये बात आई होगी कि 10 बाकी सारे ग्रुप से कैसे डिफरेंट है, ये भी वही ग्रुप है, एंड वेरी सून पीपल आर गोइंग टू स्टॉप टेक्सटिंग इन दैट, एंड बहुत ही जल्दी इट्स गोइंग टू कोल्ड हो जाएगा, एंड एवरीथिंग इज गोइंग टू बी एंडेड एंड ऑल दिस थिंग, बट टेल यू व्हाट, बाकी सारे ग्रुप में और इस ग्रुप में एक चीज कॉमन है, दैट है एक या दो चीजें कॉमन है, दैट इज सबसे पहली चीज, यस इसमें भी अपॉर्चुनिटी शेयर होंगी, ऑलराइट। सेकंड थिंग इज लाइक यहां भी मटेरियल जरूर शेयर होंगे, बट इसमें एक चीज की डिफरेंस है। I have observed one thing, that is like every trainer, even soft skill, let it be apti, let it be retail, so हमारे पास जितने अलग अलग डोमेन के ट्रेनर है, हर किसी के लाइफ में, हर किसी के प्रोफेशन में या एक्सपर्टी में there is some other phase, एक ऐसी फेज है जो उनका नीश है, ऑलराइट, जिसको लेकर के वो मार्केट में आए हैं, ऑलराइट। सो दे आर लाइक डिलीवरिंग डिफरेंट स्टफ, ऑफ कोर्स दे आर एक्सपर्ट ऑन देम, बट everybody has some or the other expertise with them. So 10 has an intention to bring their other side of the normal training what they do, all right। Example, मैंने बहुत सारे soft skill trainers को देखा है, few of them are like NLP coach or NLP practitioners, few of them are image consultants, few of them are like peak performance coach and what not, all right। So our intention is to bring the other side of the trainer to the platform so that we can deliver it to the people and grow together, all right। So that is a whole soul intention of this webinar and a whole soul intention of this network। So इस लेन देन से हमें क्या मिलेगा और क्या नहीं मिलेगा, मेरा मानना है कि हर एक घंटे जो हम लोग सैटरडे के दिन स्पेंड करने वाले हैं, this is going to help us somewhere creating our own stuff, because we are going to get the different flavors from here, all right। Because बहुत ही अलग अलग डोमेन के साथ में, even just now our Manisha ma'am has joined, she is the next speaker for next week, she is a psychiatrist, all right। So कहने का मतलब है कि हमें बहुत ही डिफरेंट तरीके का कंटेंट यहाँ पर देखने मिलेगा, which is sure going to help us for a long time, all right। So चलिए, मैं बहुत ज्यादा इस 10 के बारे में नहीं बताऊंगा, और एक रिक्वेस्ट है मेरी सभी लोगों से, ऑलराइट, दैट इज हम लोगों ने एग्री हुए थे इस बात पे कि हम जितना हो सके अटेंटिव रहेंगे, जितना हो सके हम लोग जितना हो सके विल गिव बैक टू द सोसाइटी सो दैट वी कैन ग्रो टुगेदर। चलिए, मैं बहुत ज्यादा टाइम नहीं लेता हूं, इट्स शार्प 4, विदाउट अ डिले लेट मी इंट्रोड्यूस टुडेस स्पीकर। टुडेस स्पीकर इज मिस्टर गणेश भोसले, who is like having a 15 years of rich experience in the training industry and life skill coaching, whereas apart from this he is actually a master practitioner of NLP। Tell you what guys, एक छोटी सी चीज मैं शेयर कर दूं, whenever I used to hear term called NLP, and मेरे अंदर से वो excitement आती थी, like I want to learn this, I want to learn this, and you know what I used to do, I used to open up YouTube and used to search NLP, and tell you what, it's like tons of material, tons of information at once, all right। So उस वक्त मुझे ऐसा फील होता था कि ये मेरे लिए कैसा बेनिफिशियल है, पर दोस्तों आज एक चीज अलग होने जा रही है, दैट इज आज अपने बीच जो एक्सपर्ट आ रहे हैं, वो एक्सपर्ट हमें चंक करके दिखाएंगे, एप्लीकेबल तरीके बताएंगे, जिससे वो एनएलपी को आप अपने लाइफ में कैसे इंप्लीमेंट कर सकते हैं। सो द टॉपिक टुडे सजेस्ट कि हम लोग रैपो कैसे बिल्ड कर सकते हैं। ये रैपो आपके वेंडर के साथ हो सकता है, ये रैपो आपके स्टूडेंट्स के साथ हो सकता है, ये रैपो आपके रिलेटिव्स के साथ में भी हो सकता है। So we have here Mr. Ganesh Bhosle. Without any further ado, over to you, sir. Thank you so much for joining in. Thank you.
Thank you, Shrikant. Good evening, everybody. I hope my voice is audible and clear, crystal clear to everyone.
Yes, it is, sir. Yes, it is.
Yes, great, sir. Great. Fantastic, fantastic. So people, with this introduction of Shrikant, I am little blushing. The reason being, he introduces me always in a very different manner. And I really like him because the way he builds a rapport with the students, I've seen it. The way he dedicates his entire consciousness to the student is something very different. And so it's a fantastic topic. So first of all, I have a question for you people. If I'm this thing, you can uh, uh, type it in your chat box. What do you know about NLP, Neuro Linguistic Programming?
So
NLP.
I will read it to you once they
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's great. That will be great. Yeah.
So what do you think of NLP, guys?
NLP. What do you think? What is an NLP? Fine. I mean, if you
Sir,
don't know
somebody wrote that it's
anything,
like
yeah.
something programming stuff.
If you're aware of anything about NLP, please let me know. Yeah. Exactly. It's a neuro linguistic programming. Neuro stands for your entire nervous system, starting from your brain, going to your nervous system, and entire you know your nervous system, your linguistics, and how you program it. Because we know, we have heard a lot about, and there are a lot of discussion going on about the neuroplasticity, and that's the reason our brain is very plastic. We can build our own brain through our thoughts, through our discussions, through our what I can say consciousness. And NLP is a kind of studies which has come up in this couple of decades, which really help us to grow in a better way. Okay, so now let me come back to what today's topic is all about. Today's topic is a very small part of NLP. The name of the topic is how to build an effective rapport using NLP techniques. How to build an effective rapport using NLP techniques. So first of all, if you can type in the chat box, I want to know what is a rapport for you people. What is rapport? Shrikant sir, if you can read for me, what is, I'll go to a second slide, and Shrikant sir, go to a second slide and tell me what is rapport. What is rapport?
Okay. All right. So please, hello. Yeah. Initiating communication link, sir.
Fantastic, fantastic.
And
Initiating communication.
yeah,
Yeah,
wonderful. Okay, you wrote it. Wonderful.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I asked what is rapport.
Okay.
Okay, Shrikant sir, let's
Sir,
go to the.
Yamini asked
Yeah,
when you create an image of yours. And इससे पहले जो question पूछे थे वो Chetan sir, all right? And Rahul is
yeah.
asking, it's a starting of communication.
Okay, great. It's a starting of communication. It's a when you create an image of yours. Okay. I agree with all the answers. There is little bit of diversion, and what I can say, I'll have to bring it back. Definitely, we create our own image in our mind, but rapport goes little ahead from that. Now, people, when I'm sitting in front of you, you people are listening to me. See, we are not sitting face to face with each other. We are connected with a mobile device or a mobile phone or a laptop or your desktop computer, whatever it is, and you are able to hear my voice. In this process, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to connect my consciousness with yours so that whatever information, whatever knowledge, whatever wisdom I have about this topic, I try to convey to you, I try to build in yours, and I try to program your mind in a certain way so that you will effectively get trained in it. And that is what I call it as a rapport building. Now, why I have given you such a long definition of rapport building is because we have lot many times we have to build lot of rapport with your family members, with your kid, with your spouse, with your neighbors, with your relatives, with your students, with your fellow people, and uh, you have to install a communication in a way such that they will be able to understand you in an effective manner. So, for me, if you ask me what is a rapport, Shrikant sir, if you can go to the third slide, please. You can see a Venn diagram. There are two circles. One circle represents you, and the another circle represent others. So in this particular Venn diagram, where we have two circles who are intermingled, that particular thing is what we call it as a rapport. So we have different definitions of rapport. It's like relation categorized by harmony, conformity, accord, or infinity. We call it as a rapport. Or we have an emotional bond or a linking, trust, and sense that they understand and share each other concerns. That we call it as a rapport. So we have a number of things where we have to build a rapport. First of all, let me give an example before I go in depth of the subject. The other day, I was called for one seminar in Sangli district. I mean that's 3 months back. And what happened in that particular seminar was I was told that this particular set of people will be my audience. Somehow, the organizers were not able to bring those particular people, or those particular people were busy with somebody. So what they did, in order to complete the formality, they invited the students from one Marathi school, and they brought them, and they made me to sit in my session. Now I, as a trainer, I as a speaker, keynote speaker for that particular event, I had gone prepared something in my mind that this is how I'm going to deliver a session. The moment I entered a classroom, I got a shock of my life. The reason was I was able to see maximum, that is 90% of them were school students. And only 10% of people were those people whom I was told that this is the kind of people will be there present for your seminar. And I got the shock of my life. Now, how am I going to deliver my session in English? First question. The level of the seminar which I had prepared was little higher. The third thing was there was a communication gap, because quite possibly, even though I come from a Marathi background, I will not be able to speak the Marathi which they will like. And the fourth is whether, and the most important point, fourth is whether they will be liking this topic. And God forbid, I would like to tell you what the topic was. The topic was critical thinking. And I was called to speak on critical thinking. Unfortunately, some people, because of their rescheduling or something like that, they were not able to come to the seminar. And in order to fill the chairs, the organizers had called the school children from Marathi medium. Now, what I did was, the moment the host introduced me to the people or to the students sitting in front of me, I took a deep breath. I went over the podium and I started speaking in a Marathi which they will understand. And then I looked at the people and I looked at the host and said, I'm going to twist the topic in such a way that my maximum audience, that is 90% of audience who are school children, will be able to effectively understand it. And what I had to do is, I had came with certain things in my mind. I had came with certain kind of a preparation, and all of a sudden, as my audience changed, I had to change the entire nervous system in which I was programmed, so that I'll be effectively able to connect with them, build a rapport with them. If I could have continued with the same mentality for which I had come, I could have uh, I could not have done justice with the children, and I could not have done justice with me, because I believe information, wisdom I possess, I believe I should deliver a session which my audience require. And if that is the motive of my session, that irrespective of what kind of technical know-how I have, what kind of information or the wisdom or the make justice with my audience, that is what I call as a rapport building for V trainers. Now, if I have to speak about rapport building in a relationship, many times I come across, in fact, this is one of my jobs that I do, that I deal with, I do a little bit of family counseling. And in this particular thing, many times I feel that they are not able to connect with each other. They love each other. They like each other. I repeat, two, I mean, a couple, a husband and a wife, they love each other, they like each other, but constantly they have fights between them. And when they come to a person like me, I ask them a specific set of questions to to husband and to a lady. And when I get an answer, I get to know that it's not that they don't love each other, it's not that they don't like each other, it's that they're not able to effectively establish a rapport with between themselves. That is what it is. I'll give one more example in order to uh, set my subjects very well. Once I had, I had enrolled for a paid course that was through one of the, I just don't want to name the portal, that was through one of the, the course was regarding CBT, that is cognitive behavioral therapy. And I had paid the money. And then I got a call from the person who was organizing everything, and he started speaking, wonderful, Mr. Bhosle, you have enrolled for this course. It is very effective along with NLP, and cognitive behavioral therapy is what is needed. And what I have is, I have one more course attached to it. You just have to pay $10 extra. And I said, stop. I have got what I have wanted. I just don't want to listen what you are saying. This is what I had wanted. This is what I have paid for, and I'm not interested in paying anything extra. But immediately, the moment he called me, the first thing he said is, wonderful, you have enrolled for this course. We have one more course for you, and you just have to pay $10 extra. I was still shocked. The reason being, he did not take into consideration why I had enrolled for this particular course, and even then he tried an upselling for me, and he tried to sell something else. So what he did, he immediately started speaking with me as if I have done a great thing by joining this course, and I'll be interested in paying more money to him. So without establishing a rapport, he tried for a upselling. So we in NLP, we have a very fantastic presupposition, and the presupposition is, resistance in client is a lack of rapport. So when we say that the client is very resisting, he is asking a lot of questions, the problem is not with him. The client, the customer is there for you to ask questions, because he needs to be crystal clear what I am paying for. If I'm not clear what I'm paying for, then I'll definitely won't go for a purchase. But if I am clear, I'm crystal clear what is this I'm paying for, I'll definitely pay the money. And that is the reason resistance in a client is not that he is not interested in buying the product. It's just that we are not able to establish a good amount of rapport with him. And that is the reason this particular topic has become so relevant in this world where we have a constant exchange of information, constant exchange of knowledge, product, and other benefits which we wanted. Now, when I use the word connecting my nervous system with the other, I am talking about metaphysical things, because rapport building is something where we metaphysically get connected with the person. See, we have lot of formalities when we start a presentation or when we go for selling a product. We have icebreakers, we have what we call it as greetings, good morning, good afternoon, and all those things. But rapport is something very different from them. Let me make it a crystal clear. Rapport building is not ice breaking. Rapport building is not greeting, good morning, good afternoon. No, it's not that. Rapport building is me aligning my metaphysical, I use the word metaphysical nervous system with people or a client, whether it's one person or whether there are 100 people, client, me aligning my nervous system with them. The reason being I am a speaker. The reason being they are the listeners. And I'll tell you one more thing. The other day I got a call from one XYZ organization to conduct a webinar. And the person inadvertently said that, sir, this is going to be new normal. I don't think so. We will ever, he used the word ever, we will ever come back for a face-to-face training. It will always be an online training. I said, why you say this? He said, because this is new normal. And if you go through the sales of Microsoft Team or Zoom app or everything is happening online, and we will never be able to go for face-to-face training. I said no. I said to him that till 7th standard, I repeat, in school system, it's very difficult to gain concentration online, because a teacher who has taught for 15 years, 10 years in the school, standing in front of a blackboard or a green board and in front of 100 students, she is not able to immediately connect with the students who are sitting in front of mobile phones or laptops, because there you require a very different kind of a very different kind of a consciousness to connect with the people who are not able to who are not physically present in front of you. In fact, the other day we had conducted one program known as HIVE, that is high impact virtual engagement. The reason being, connecting virtually with the people is very different from face to face training. So why I'm giving you all these examples? The reason I'm giving you all these examples is because to establish, to tell you that rapport building is something very different from ice breaking, and rapport building is something very different from greeting. So what is the rapport building? Rapport is a state, whether you call it as a HPS, that is high performing state, or you call it something else. Rapport is a state of harmonious understanding with another individual or a group that enables greater and easier communication. So when you have built a rapport, there is a easier communication, there is a easy flow of information. I want to ask you one question to create more understanding about rapport building to you people. How many of you have seen the film Avatar, the English movie, the Hollywood movie Avatar, not the old movie of Rajesh Khanna? I'm talking about the Hollywood movie Avatar. Great. So there are few people who have seen this movie. In that particular movie, if you will see that there is one horse, and this lady and a gentleman, they always tie their hair to the what I can say, the hair of the horse, and then they don't need to speak up. They just, the horse understand where he has to go and how he has to go. Now that is a physically they have connected through the part of a body, the animal and the so-called humanoid, I'm not going to use the word human, but I'll say humanoid, the animal and the humanoid have got physically connected, and now the humanoid who is going to run the animal, he doesn't has to give any specific direction to the animal. That animal just goes because the animal, that is the horse, knows where he or she is going. Why? Because the person who is in the driving seat, he is physically connected with the person. So that is a harmonious relationship. What we call it is about rapport building. Now, the moment I go into my classroom, there are a lot of things which people observe about me. Suppose I, as a trainer, I enter into a classroom or a training room where a training is conducted. There are three things. There are three aspects which are going to be observed. One is my level of confidence. Second is how I have come. Now, many people say, once I was delivering the session of rapport building and I was asked this question, is formal dressing related to rapport building? I said no. If you are going to wear a tie, that does not mean you are going to build an effective rapport. Why you wear a tie or why you wear a formal shirt is because people should take you seriously, that he is a professional and a gentleman who can be trusted, I'm not saying he must be trusted, who can be trusted, because that trust starts with rapport building. I hope it's crystal clear. When you are formally dressed and you enter into a training room or a classroom, and you see, and the audience sees you, that you are well dressed, well groomed person, they get a kind of a feeling that this gentleman or a lady can be trusted. This is why we need to be well dressed. But that's not again what rapport building is. Rapport building is more than that. So there are three elements of rapport building. The first element is physiology. Okay, in physiology we have lot of things. There are postures, there are gestures, there are what I can say, facial expression, your eye contact, the rate of blinking, your breathing. So that everything comes in physiology. The second element is the quality of voice. Voice quality, you are aware, there is timbre, there is volume of your voice. Look, what I can say, voice quality. So this is the second element. There is a third element, which are words you use while speaking. My choice of words. Now I don't know how many of you have gone through the uh, survey or the research conducted by Bird Whistle. Bird Whistle was one gentleman who had conducted a research at Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania is the university in US. I know many people are aware of it. And he came with a conclusion that these are the three elements which has to be used in a certain way in order to build an effective rap. But there was one more gentleman who did one more research with the same three elements, that is your physiology, your voice quality, and your words, choice of words. He again did a research and he came up with a very intriguing, puzzling, what I can say, very inquisitive kind of a research. And he said that physiology constitutes 55% of rapport building. People were shocked because everybody in a traditional system, everybody felt that it is the choice of words which makes difference in rapport building. Unfortunately, it was not. It was not the choice of words, but it was physiology. which constitutes 55% of rapport building. And then he went for the second element, that is the quality of voice. And again, there was a surprise element in this quality of voice. 38% of rapport building constitutes the voice quality, and just 7% constitutes the choice of words in rapport building. So it's like how well placed I am in terms of my confidence, in terms of my attitude, in terms of body language, the angle of my spine, whether I am sitting, standing, and if I am standing, what is my posture, what is, how are my shoulder placed, are they inclined, I mean, they are, what I can say, draining down, how is my upper body position, and all this constitutes a rapport building in physiology. Then comes the gestures. Now this is a surprise element because facial expression, how is your eye contact? Now something about eye contact, like right now I'm not connected with you people, but many times if you're not looking at the people who are listening to you, it is felt that your attention is distracted. So your eye contact is again one more element in rapport building. Then comes rate of blinking. Okay, now I hope you people are aware that there is a difference between blinking and winking. Winking, what is that lady? There is one movie, I can't remember, Priya Prakash Warrior. She winks in a fantastic manner, but winking is different from blinking. Okay, so blinking is a conscious function, is the function of your conscious mind. Many times we all blink. Why we blink? The science says we blink in order to keep our eyes moist. If we have to keep our eyes moist, we are going to blink. But if I am nervous, if I am fearful, if I am afraid of something, I am going to blink consciously. So again, that blinking is the function of your unconscious mind and not your conscious mind. Means what? If I'm confident enough, my blinking will be natural. So the rate of blinking is one more element in this physiology of rapport building. Breathing. When we are sitting face to face with a person, sometimes a person is nervous and he breathes little faster, or if person has gone into a very deep trance level, he takes a heavy breath. Why? Because he want to grasp whatever has come his way, and he want to take a deep breath so that his body, his mind will be re-energized to listen more. So when I am sitting in a seminar or a keynote speech, and if I take a very deep breath, I'm listening consciously, I've gone into that training, and if I take a deep breath, that means what? I'm reinvigorating my body, my nervous system, in order that I'll receive more. So sometimes we take deep breath. So even that rate of breathing is rapport building. Now, I want to make it crystal clear here itself. When we are discussing this rapport building, I'm not speaking in terms of a trainer or a speaker or a host. It's a two-way communication. Why rapport building is a two-way communication? Because there is one more part of a topic of this topic which I'm going to visit later, that is matching and mirroring. And that's the reason I say that rapport building is a two-way process. It's not a one-way process that I have to do it. Many times it has to be a two-way communication, and I have to match and mirror with the person who is listening to me. So there is uh, a second element is quality of voice, tonality, whether your voice is high pitch, low pitch, whether it's melodic, monotone, the tempo, fast or slow, the kind of pauses you take when you're speaking with people, timbre, that is quality of your sound, whether it's clean, distorted. Now, while we are speaking on this, while I'm delivering this webinar through mobile phone, definitely the quality of my sound is going to get distorted. But even then, I have to raise the quality of my voice in such a way that the timbre is good, that is the quality of sound, and you listen a clean and undistorted words. So volume, whether it's loud, soft. Now many times uh, we ignore this meta, what I can say, psychogeography. What is psychogeography? Psychogeography is something, the moment I enter into a training room or a house for a sales call or a classroom, my voice is automatically designed as per the spatial distribution of that area. That is the what I can say, psychogeography of the room. So volume, sound or loud or soft, I have to take into consideration. I have to think about location. I want to ask you people a question and I want you to write this in a chat box. You people are listening to me for more than half an hour. I want you to tell me, where is the location of my voice? Whether I am speaking from my throat. Now, definitely, I'm not Himesh Reshmiya. I'm not singing a song because Himesh Reshmiya, he has the habit of singing through the nose. So I want you to answer me this question, people. Am I speaking from stomach? Am I speaking from chest? Or am I speaking from throat? So where, if you people are listening to me, and if I am effectively communicating with you, I want you to type this answer in the chat box. What are your feelings? How are you when you are when you are listening to me? What do you feel where I am speaking from? Some people say he speaks from the stomach, he speaks from the heart, or if I have to just speak for the sake of speaking, then we speak for the throat, because I speak just to communicate words. So when I communicate, I just want to communicate through words, I speak through the throat. Now I'm getting some good answers. Some people are saying, oh great. Prashant is saying, I'm speaking from, it's from stomach. Sherville is saying, I'm speaking from stomach. Yes. Maybe you have felt it because my voice has raised little bit. And yes, I can feel that I am speaking from stomach. So the location of your voice is again very important, so that the audience get to know the seriousness of your, or the commitment of your topic. Now when we come to the third element of rapport building, that is words. This gentleman, Birdwhistle and Moreno, according to them, in an effective rapport, words only constitute 7%. So why is this? I'll give one more example. Generally, I have a training in one of the medical colleges in my hometown, and there I have to conduct an FDP, that is faculty development program, in front of say 100 medical professors. Okay, And when I ask them to come and deliver the presentation, they are like fantastic, very good with their topic. But I find their speech to be in a very monotonous way. They start with one kind of a physiology, certain kind of a physiology, I'm sorry, certain physiology, a certain quality of sound, and the entire for 1 hour, they deliver the session without the highs and lows, they deliver the session in the same monotonous way. And I don't question their technical abilities. They are very good professors having MDs, MS, PhDs from very good universities, having 15, 20 years of experience in medicine industry. The problem is their monotonous speech does not build a rapport. Here, the words they are using, the definitions they are giving is fantastic. They are teaching their audience in a elaborate way, but it is the only choice of words which matters for them and not physiology and quality of sound. And that is the reason I feel they're not effectively able to build a rapport with them, with the students. So I believe these are the what I can say elements, three basic elements of rapport building. But rapport building doesn't stop here. In fact, I have just discussed the foundation of rapport building. So if I have to establish a rapport, imagine with a person who is just sitting in front of me. There is only one person. Imagine you are gone for an interview. I mean, you are sitting in front of a interviewer, and this particular gentleman is well dressed, well groomed, and you have to build a rapport with him. So first thing in rapport building, before, I mean, if you want to establish a rapport with him, is that, I mean, I'm not talking about the basic elements of rapport building, but I'm talking about sensory acuity. What is sensory acuity? It is, sensory acuity is paying attention or noticing or listening the minor clues. So if I start speaking with my audience in a classroom, or if I start speaking with an interviewer, and the kind of response or feedback I get from his spatial exposure, like if a person is interested, he is having curiosity in speaking with me, then definitely his face is going to glow. It's going to be turned little white. But if I give an incorrect answer, and if the person, if the interviewer feels that he is not interested in speaking with me, his head goes down a little bit, and the glow of the face reduces. So all this clues, cues, micro cues, is what we call it as sensory acuity. Like body language, hand gestures. If a person is proactively using his hand, that means he is interested in speaking with you. But if he is using his hand gestures only for the sake of speaking, then it's going to be a very minimal kind of a gesture. So this kind of sensory acuity is very important in rapport building. What are other things in rapport building? Pacing and leading. Now here, this on this particular slide, there is the fifth point. I'm so sorry that I have just jumbled up a little bit, but since I am speaking from my heart and my stomach, I am really not aware like what are the. In fact, the slide was created by I mean, before the session, and I just forgot it because what I'm doing is I'm not going through the PowerPoint presentation. But even then, the fifth point is spacing and leading. So what is spacing and leading? When you are doing the same things as your client or a customer or an audience is doing, like if they have just tilted their spinal cord little bit backwards and they're sitting quietly, that means they are trying to connect with you with an easy feeling. So when you take that pacing, or if uh, they take a deep breath, you also take a deep breath, that is pacing. So what is pacing? When you try to mirror what the other person is doing, when you try to, sorry, I'm sorry, I'm not going to use the word mirror because it has a different this thing. If you try to match what other person is doing, you are pacing it. Then what is leading? Leading is when you know that the rapport has been established and now you want this cell to happen, you take a lead and slowly you have aligned your nervous system in such a way that person is so interested in listening to you that he unconsciously starts copying you, matching you. That is what we call it as leading. Means you are in the driver's seat. In a pacing, the gentleman who is listening, the gentleman or a lady who is listening to you, or the people or the students who are listening to you, you was trying to connect with them and you wanted to establish a rapport. So you try to match up with their body language. That is what we call pacing is. But if I have effectively established the rapport and now I want that the person should listen to me and I want the sales to happen, I take a lead. So slowly I do kind of an action where my listener unconsciously imitates me, matches me, is what we call it as a leading. So that is a strategy in building an effective rapport. I'll come back to the point number 3. I hope you are getting it, people. If you have any questions, you're always free to ask me these questions. Okay? I'll come back to the questions later. The third point, eye-accessing cues. Suppose if I am speaking and the person has got into a deep thought process, definitely he's not going to have an eye contact. So he's going to look upwards, because why? He's thinking on what I have spoken. That means what? I have not only effectively established the rapport, but I have chunked up my conversation. So if I want to take it furthermore, I'm going to use the kind of words which are going to chunk up more high and he's going to go in a different thought process. So eye accessing pattern. Now imagine people who are sitting in front of you. They are looking down. That is, their eyeballs are towards the earth. That is, they are looking down. Means what? I have chunked them down and they may ask me some certain specific questions. When I chunk up, they are wondering, they are thinking. But when I have chunked down, they are going to ask me some specific questions. So based on the cues of eye accessing patterns, again I re-establish a rapport. I'll come to the 6th point. I'll come back to the 4th point later. That is matching and mirroring. So what is matching and mirroring? Imagine there are two people sitting on a table and a chair, and if one person, is doing kind of a micro movement with his hand, what we do is tuck, 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 tuck with his hand or something like that, moving his finger, and we try to match up that micro movement by the same hand that is trying to match up with the person. But in a mirror, when we are standing in front of a mirror, it's opposite. So when a person raises right hand, I raise my left hand I'm trying to mirror it. Again, why this matching and mirroring? Because physiologically I'm trying to establish a rapport so that I'll effectively get the work done, or I'll get the desired outcome from the conversation I'm having going to have. I'm desired outcome from the conversation I'm going to have with this person. And that is the reason I'm going to go for matching and mirroring. So what is matching and mirroring? All those micro movements, whether it's breathing, whether it's lifting your hand, whether it's what I can say, raising the quality, or whether it's using the similar words many times it happens. I'll give an example. Once I was delivering one session, and there I used the word animosity. And one of the students, he raised hand and said, "What is the meaning of animosity?" Then I gave him the meaning of what is animosity. And after that, in my later half, almost five people, five students use the same words, animosity. So when you use the words and when they are trying to use the same words again, that is again matching with with the words you use. So it's in that 7% of words. Many times, again, rapport building, it's the same equation which we talked about. Physiology constitutes 55%, voice quality constitutes 38%, and words constitute 7%. So if you are energetic in class, again your students are going to be energetic. If you use some kind of words, again they are going to be use some kind of words. But I'll tell you something about words, and that is the reason we have given such a low percentage to the words, that is only 7%. The reason is, when you're listening to somebody, you cannot 100% use all his words, because as Angelina, this thing, Maya Angelino says that people will forget what you have told them, people will forget what you have given them, but people will always listen how you made them feel. And in this rapport building, if you are confident, you make other people feel confident. So students who are going to listen to you, or the participants even in this particular webinar who are going to listen to you, if I ask all the gentlemen, including Shrikant and Rahul, to replicate and deliver the session as it was, I will challenge you that they will not be able to use all the words. The reason, in fact, I will not be able to replicate my own webinar. The reason being, I am delivering this webinar not by reading, but through my heart and my stomach. And the words constitute only 7% in rapport building. So it's possible that some of the catchy phrases from the teacher will be able to use it in our conversation. And that is the reason only 7%, the words constitute, the use of words, the choice of words constitutes only 7% in rapport building. The reason is, if tomorrow at the same time, with the same audience and on the same topic, if I am asked to speak, maybe the core, the subject matter is same, but I may give different examples, I may have a different choice of words, because it's the experience which matter most in building a rapport rather than the choice of words. I'll come back to the fourth point, rep system, or what we call it as a representational system. This is one of the important strategies in rapport building. So what a representational system? We all have certain habits, we all have developed. Some people, while listening to me, they are visualizing, because their preferred learning system is V based, that is visual based. Some people, some students, they are very, very attentive in the class. The reason being that preferred learning system is auditory. Some people, they are looking outside the window, but their ears are towards the teacher, what she is saying, and they are getting a feel of that particular session. They have kinesthetic as the preferred learning system. So based on the preferred learning system, you try to strategize the rapport building. Not all the people who are listening to me are going to have an auditory kind of a preferred learning system. They may come up with a feedback. If Shrikant sir asks you, what is the feedback? Oh, sir, the video was not matching and it could have been better that this gentleman, Mr. Ganesh Bhosle, could have been present uh, in front of us, or we could be visually be able to see him speaking. I'd call them as V based, that is visual based. These people having visual as their preferred learning system. Some people, because based on the quality of my voice, some people will give this feedback. Ah, I don't know what kind of session he delivered because I was a little confused. But yes, he was very devoted and dedicated. Now, this gentleman or a lady who is give this kind of a feedback, that I was little confused, I was little messed up with the topic. But yes, the gentleman was dedicated or devoted. This lady is kinesthetic orientated, lady or a gentleman, whoever she is. Kinesthetic, this person is having a kinesthetic preferred learning system. So this is one more strategy in building an effective rapport with your audience. Now the question is, we do not know our own preferred learning systems. How can we understand the preferred learning system of our audience or the listener? Here you have point number 1 and point number 3, that is sensory acuity and your eye accessing cues are going to help you to understand what are his or her preferred learning system, and based on that you are going to establish a rapport with him or her. But that requires a little bit of different level of understanding with this topic. It requires you to have, I'm sorry to use the word, it's not a spiritual session, but you need to have that spiritual knack in order that I'm able to understand a preferred learning representational system of the person who is sitting in front of me, and based on that I'm going to adapt my conversation and my speech to the person who is listening to me. So this particular fourth point, that is strategy for an effective rapport building, the fourth point, representational system, this requires little bit of more practice in this particular topic. Now, is my session going to help you with all? People, it's all about practice. This particular session requires that you practice this particular things, that is all the rules and the protocols and the strategies and the basic elements which I have discussed with you. You require more effective practice. What I have did it in today's session, because it's, I'm going to come to the question and answers. We are almost closing to 5. So what I have did today is I have introduced you to the topic of strategies, for the effective method to build a rapport. But rapport building is not about listening. Rapport building is not about theory. Rapport building is 90% of practice and only of theory. Some people, there are many good orators, speakers who are not consciously or separately trained in this particular topic of rapport building, but their inner engineering is aligned or inclined towards their audience in such a way that unconsciously they are able to effectively establish a rapport with their audience, irrespective of whether they are trained or not, or whether they consciously know it or not. So people, what I feel is, it's not the technical knowledge of the topic or the information of the topic. It's not the content. This particular topic of rapport building was not about the content you are going to deliver, because if I could have talked about content, it could have been come in those 7% of words, and words constitute only 7% in rapport building. It's about the context. The session was more about the context through which through we build a rapport with the listener and our audience. If I have to sum up this session and expand this term rapport, R-A-P-P-O-R-T. In NLP, we have something known as really all people prefer others resembling themselves. R-A-P-P-O-R-T. Really all people prefer others resembling themselves. This is what we call it as rapport building. It's a huge topic, people. I want to tell you again, words only constitute 7%, and my experience tells me the same. It's not about bird whistles, research in Pennsylvania. It's not only about the Morino's feedback. Quality of voice constitutes 38%, and your physiology constitutes 55% in building an effective rapport. So now, before I go ahead, before we move on, if there are any specific or generalized questions my audience or my listeners wants me to ask, I'll be really happy to it. Now, there is one member who has written first impression. See, I'll tell you people why I'm not aligned to this answer. First impression is because many times, I just want to give an example. If you meet a beautiful air hostess while flying in an airplane, maybe you are traveling by Emirates, and there is a beautiful lady air hostess, very charming looks, and very beautiful, the skin tone and everything is very nice. But the moment she speaks with you, you come to know that she is not aware of basic protocols, or she is not trained properly to be an air hostess. Then the first impression won't work. That's the reason I would not accept this term first impression as rapport building. Trust. Trust is more than rapport building, because first I establish a rapport, and then people trust me because of my technical know-how. So again, I will accept this. Ma'am, Yamini ma'am, when she says that when you create an image of yours, I have a little bit of what I can say difference of opinion with this particular create an image of yours, because if I deliver a topic, imagine I am conducting a session on Constitution of India, and I'm speaking on this Indo-China or the crisis in Ladakh region of India, and I'm delivering a session for UPSC students. I am really not interested whether the students who are listening to me are tilted or inclined towards Congress or BJP. I want to tell them the facts, that this is what is happening, and I want to tell them the truth, the fact, to all the students who are listening to me that this is what the situation in Gulwan Valley, Ladakh is, and this is what is happening in the valley. This is what the history of Indo-China relation is all about. Since Qing dynasty, since Yang dynasty, how China ran over Tibet in 1951, and all those aspects. So if a person belongs to Congress, my image, because I am talking about 1962 war in which India very badly suffered. Okay, are you getting me, people? So person who
Yes,
is
sir.
inclined towards Congress. And if I speak about 1962 war with China, which India evidently lost, the image of my my image in that particular person's mind will not be good. Is it not? Now imagine if I speak again and again that we have, it was a little bit laid back approach from the government. We could have understood this because Chinese are doing this since last 60 years, and we could have been prepared with this. So government of India should have been more proactive in giving the response to Chinese people. The person who is inclined towards BJP may feel that, may not have good image of mine in front of that person. But me as a speaker, I have to give the fact, and I have to establish a kind of a rapport where I have to tell them the truth, irrespective of where the person is inclined to me. So I'll tell you this again, what I repeated in the beginning, I'll repeat it. In a relationship, when there is a fight between a husband and wife, there is not that they don't love each other. It's not that they don't like each other, but even they fight because there is no effective rapport between them. So it is quite possible that people may not like each other, but they may have a good rapport. A person who is having a different point of view, if he is able to explain or justify to me that why is having that this thing, I may like the person. So people, again I'll tell you, rapport building is not about loving or liking. I hope that is crystal clear. So I will disagree with Yamini ma'am that it is about creating an image. Ma'am, with all due respect, I hope you have got what I want to tell you. So Shrikant sir, are there any questions? Shrikant sir,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
yeah. Do we need to change? Shall I read it?
Right? You can read it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yamini ma'am
So
said
do
it's
we?
now. Wonderful.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much, ma'am. Do we need to change of view or approach as per evolving mindset of audience? Because today's audience is consciously or unconsciously aware of the topic, just need an elaborate presentation of present situation. Yes, we need to adapt ourselves. We need not change the view. It's not about changing the view, but it's about adapting the mindset of the audience so that I effectively establish a rapport with them. It's not necessarily that I will agree with them. I may not agree with them, but I may adapt myself to the conversation. So disagreement is a very normal thing. I mean, we are living in a kind of world where we feel that if there is a difference of opinion, a person is enemy. No. So it's not necessary that we may have to change the point of view. But yes, the second point, Chetan, Mr. Chetan, you have said, do we as the mindset of the audience is evolving, we definitely need to change our approach. There is no doubt about it. So because you're absolutely right that today's audience is consciously or unconsciously aware of the topic, we need an elaborate presentation or present situation? Yes. And that is the reason we are having blend of learning methods. Like right now we are having PPT presentations. We may have come up with a what can I say, with a video to speak more about the topic, or if it was a classroom training, again I could have given you some kind of an exercise, or I may have conducted an activity, or there could have been an icebreakers. So definitely we need to change an approach. I hope that makes clear. Yes, Chetan sir, sorry, Shrikant sir, are there any more questions?
Prashant sir?
All right. So thank you, Ganesh sir. Is there any other question? Panelists or attendees may please ask. Go ahead. You may type. Is there any question? Type yes or no.
Yes, Mr. Chetan, go ahead.
Mr. Chetan, do you have any question? Please ask. You may type, please. All right. So it seems there are no any questions. So thank you, Ganeshji, very much for conducting this webinar. Wonderful session on rapport building using NLP. So we have been knowing about the rapport building, but how it's going to be exactly with the use of NLP. And this session is very interesting and going to be useful for all of us that Ganeshji has shared some tricks like sensory acuity, psychogeography, eye-accessing cues, and representational systems. So definitely we are going to use it. Until and unless we are not going to use these tactics in our day-to-day life, rapport building, we cannot make it. So I hope everyone is clear with this session. Really wonderful session, Ganeshji. And this was the first session of a 10 group trainers education network. So you may please type in the comment box and let us know how was the first action step towards this purpose. If you like it really, if you really like the session, please type yes and let us know. Your feedback is very important so that we can consider it this for the next our second action step. And second webinar is going to be conducted on the next week, weekend Saturday, sharp evening at 4 p.m. So those who want to suggest their name with the topic, they may please contact either Shrikantji or Rahulji or to me. My name is Prashant Shinde, and you can contact all of us. All of the admins are open to conduct receive your topic and your name. So next slot is vacant, and you may enroll yourself. And let's rock again on next Saturday. So thank you very much for being with us, and really appreciate your patience and time. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thanks, Prashant sir. Thank you for the wonderful. It's been an interesting audience, and I really like delivering the session. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ganesh sir. Thank you so much. It's a small, you can say it's a small try to bring a knowledge on the table itself. Thank you, Yamini ji. Thank you, everybody who else is here. बहुत बड़ा शुक्रिया जो आप सभी लोग यहाँ पर आए. Next week, guys, we have a different trainer, different speaker, and as Prashant sir said कि बहुत सारे slots available है. Please connect with us so that हम लोग different topics पे बात कर सके, चर्चा कर सके और अपने knowledge को इस तरीके से update कर सके. So उम्मीद है आपको आज का सेशन पसंद आया होगा, और जो भी आपका फीडबैक है प्लीज हमारे पर्सनल व्हाट्सएप नंबर पे you can anytime you can bug us. All right, thank you so much guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you Shrikant. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.